Okay, so
Oh, is this like centripetal
no. So this
force or
is this is how you wine taste. So when you shake it, you're supposed to see the legs of it. If you see like a current,
you're supposed to see how it sticks to the glass, right?
yeah.
Have you been watching Sideways, Ethan?
No, but I want to.
Mine's not wine.
Wait, you've never seen it?
No, I have. I've seen it, but you know why I want to?
Why?
Because Alexander Payne's newest film is nominated for an Oscar.
But not a certain Oscar that would include his name.
You're right.
Yeah. Very
Cheers. I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. Welcome back, everybody, to Stacked, this post-inaugural episode of Season 3.
Post-inaugural episode of Season 3.
Which is to say it's the second episode.
What a way to call it.
It's great.
His water
very
stinks.
hydrating.
Your ice water?
smells.
My ice water.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, I got a glass of wine here. I haven't taken a sip of it. Because, I mean, I just want to celebrate, because the Oscar noms
It's been a big week for us movie boys.
Yeah,
It's
for us film heads.
it's the time of year I feel like we all look forward to the most. You know, Oscar nominations morning is very much. It's like
Especially this
second
guy.
Christmas.
Especially that guy.
Especially
Yeah.
me.
Shout out to Brandon over
Check
here.
out our reaction video.
Yes,
Or his
this
reaction video, I should
guy
say.
got up first thing in the morning, Oscar nomination morning, and he was right there with the live reaction. So
I
props
was.
to Brandon.
Hell yeah.
That was
You killed it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
was.
did.
I was definitely in there, framing exactly how I wanted it to be for like a week.
That's
Yeah.
filmmaking. Man.
Oh, you mean
That's
like with the
filmmaking.
camera and all that?
Yeah,
Like setting it up?
Yeah,
You were
I was
messing
setting it
around.
That's
up.
dedication.
Oh,
I was
really?
watching previous Oscar nomination reaction videos.
Just
I
seeing
was
what's
doing
good.
Man,
it
he was doing
research.
research.
Oh.
He was pulling comps on like Shot Deck or
Yeah.
something.
Heck
I was like, I have to. This has to be professional. We have to get this over 100 views.
And it did.
And we did.
As of
And it
right
did.
now, I think it's at like 101.
Hell yeah.
We hit
100, 101.
Look at that.
And our last episode is that 158.
Yeah,
as
shout out
recording
to
this, so-
everyone who watched, left
Yeah.
a really nice comment
Or me.
on the video, and also Brandon.
Do you have anything to say about our first episode, Brandon?
It was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I think a lot of people need to start believing us when we say things in the comments.
All right.
Because it's true.
Should we address that?
No, let's
No?
not.
All right.
We legally can't,
All
but
right,
it's
fine.
true. Okay, so I'm gonna pass the reins on over to you, Joe.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be like spearheading this Oscar talk.
Sure.
get into it.
Yeah, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously the nominations came out, but that's not the only big movie thing that's been happening. Sundance just took place.
Oh yeah.
And one of us was on the scene and got into a couple of movies at Sundance. So Ethan, why don't you tell us about your spontaneous trip to, to Salt Lake?
I saw that the film that I talked about last episode, Sasquatch Sunset, was having a screening at 5:45 right across the street from my parents' apartment in Salt Lake at the Rose Wagner Theater. It's a great theater, by the way.
Okay.
It's for more like plays and stuff, but they do Sundance screenings there. And so I was like, you know what? This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I'm just like, it's not that big of a loss if I don't see it because like, it was just a 4-hour drive. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to make it. And so I got there 3 hours ahead of time of the screening. I was the first one in the waitlist line.
Okay.
And some volunteers, these group of sisters who were volunteers. The fourth sister couldn't come, but the three of them approached me since I was the first in the waitlist, and they sold me their tickets to Sasquatch Sunset and Presents.
Wow.
So those are the two that I got to see. So thank you, Carrie. I don't know your last name, but you sold me that ticket, and I got to see my favorite movie of the year so far.
Wow. Look at that.
I mean,
it beat Mean Girls?
Oh yeah, no, it made it into my top 250 Sasquatch.
Wow,
Sunset.
of all time.
Wow.
All time.
Damn.
Yeah, so give us like your like minute
Yeah.
review. Like
Okay, minute review. So it's basically what we talked about last week, where it's literally just Jesse Eisenberg as a Sasquatch.
so is he voicing the Sasquatch? Like you hear Jesse
hear him.
Eisenberg?
There's no dialogue.
Eisenberg
There's
speak.
no dialogue in the movie. It's all
Oh.
like grunting and like Sasquatch noises.
Yeah.
Does
'Cause
that
they-
ever get boring or tiring?
No,
Is it
not
kinda
well.
like-
I think for a lot of people, yes, but not for me.
Okay.
So
Is it kind of like I remember we talked about this, and you had mentioned that it was kind of like watching a clip from like Blue Planet or Our Planet, whatever.
they frame it as like a completely observational.
It's like the
documentary.
opening of 2001. In a
It
way.
literally, it's the opening of 2001, but for 80 minutes. And it's just a family of 4 Sasquatch and just their trials and tribulations of being an endangered species throughout the year. So like each act is like broken up into like seasons, basically, you know.
Very
And
cool.
every season there's like a new trial to face, you know. And Riley Keough, is that her name?
Is that
Yeah, I don't know how to
Elvis's
pronounce it,
granddaughter?
but-
Elvis's granddaughter. She
Okay.
plays the one woman Sasquatch.
Okay. And just to like clarify, like they don't talk, but is it like their faces? Like this is all prosthetic makeup?
Okay, so imagine the Sasquatch from those beef jerky commercials.
Okay.
They look exactly like that.
I see.
But there's little hints of, you can tell. Like you're like, yes, that's Sasquatch, but there's like 10% Jesse Eisenberg in there.
I
you know?
see.
Like you can tell from his, Jesse, he has a really noticeable upper lip.
Sure.
You know, and his eyes.
so it's
and
like
the shape of his eyes are very like noticeable.
Yeah.
So you're like, that's a Sasquatch, but it has Jesse Eisenberg's mouth
Okay.
and eyes.
I got
see
Swiss
it.
Army Man vibes.
People are making a lot of comparisons to that. To Swiss Army Man.
Very good.
It's a very crude film. Just a forewarning. It comes out April 12th. So when it,
Oh, gotcha.
it's
That's
very
soon.
crude, but I just think it's supposed to be crude because it is a film about it is a film really about humans and about how altruism and kindness and rituals and like dealing with loss and loneliness is something that is across all species on our planet,
Gotcha.
So it's basically, these Sasquatch represent like humans at their baseline like animalistic attributes, so they fuck a lot,
Yeah.
they shit a lot, they piss a lot,
Right.
there's a lot
Because
of,
they're wild.
there's
Yeah,
a lot
we
of
do.
vomit, there's a lot of cum. They give a live birth to a baby Sasquatch in the movie.
I heard that at Sundance there were like walkouts.
Yeah.
Like there's some people.
Nobody
who couldn't-
walked out at my screening, but I heard like 2/3 of the premiere left,
Oh my gosh.
and that sucks.
I can't fathom like ever walking out of a movie like that. If I'm gonna see, even
No.
if I hate it,
And I paid $30 for it.
Exactly,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
sit
gonna-
through to the end.
yeah, see
but
it out.
But I mean, I get it if you bought like a pass
Yeah,
and you're like, I don't have to be here.
And especially if you're like, I want to go get lunch or something.
exactly.
And you're like,
I
this is a
just-
waste
I
of my
understand
time.
that.
They're like, there's a better screening I also have tickets for that I want
Yeah,
to see.
or something like
I
that.
see.
Yeah.
I get that, but like,
But even still,
yeah.
like,
but no,
you're
I
at
legit,
Sundance,
I
like-
thought it was an incredible film.
okay.
And I'm not even just saying that for the joke, like that. Oh, it's like Sasquatch. Oh. I legit, like, I was enthralled by it,
okay.
and I didn't think I was going to be as enthralled by it, but I was.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Presence by Steven Soderbergh. He takes another sort of. He's been a lot more experimental lately.
He has.
With like
That dude is one of the
Unsane.
most prolific filmmakers.
Yeah.
Is he still the head of DGA?
I think so. Is he?
Yeah.
I don't
I
want.
think he's
I actually
president.
I don't want to say because I don't. know.
Maybe. I don't know. I think he was at a certain point.
It makes sense.
Oh, yeah,
because
I can
that
see
dude is directing around the clock. He has like 1 or 2 movies a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
always
and it
moving.
doesn't. He doesn't care if
Wasn't
like
he supposed to retire?
Really?
Soderbergh.
Yeah, he
is
was.
he that old?
No. He just was like Tarantino and made a promise like, oh,
Of, like,
this
a
is gonna
certain
be
cap.
I think Logan Lucky was supposed to be his like last
Oh
movie.
yeah,
well,
he's made like 5.
Way
since.
I know,
since
I
then.
know, exactly.
Dang.
And then he's been like crazy. He did Unsane, and that was his
Yeah.
comeback.
He was experimenting with like iPhone cinematography.
I think Unsane was a very successful experiment. I can't say the same for Presence.
okay.
Because
Was it filmed on iPhone?
I don't know if it was. I don't know what it was. Maybe
Hmm.
because it felt like it was filmed on that 0.5 lens.
I see.
It was
He-
shot
hated it.
exactly like that the entire time. It's like a first person movie.
Oh.
From the point of view of a ghost
haunting.
haunting a house.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
But it's
That's
all,
a really cool
but it's
idea.
all
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
wide
that is
angle
cool.
lens, handheld, and it made me sick, to be honest.
wow.
Like
Like
it was
nauseating.
it was hard to look at for like that whole run.
well, you have a weak stomach, so that makes sense.
That's not true at all.
Oh, it is true.
That's not true
Actually,
at all.
it
That's
is,
not.
yeah.
You have
what?
trouble keeping it down sometimes.
Yeah.
Should we
What?
bring up Morbius?
Okay,
Yeah.
but that
What
wasn't
happened when
my
you and
fault. That
Morbius?
was not just me. That happened to him too.
It was the curse.
Uh,
the Morbius curse.
If you go to the AMC Norwalk, don't get the popcorn or see Morbius. That's like if you get popcorn and see Morbius, you will get sick.
That's a good warning because I heard they're re-releasing it specifically at the AMC Norwalk.
Because they wanted to make another
With a popcorn
They
special.
wanted to make another more $1 billion.
Yeah.
It
the
was
highest
already the
grossing
highest
movie
movie
of
of
all
all
It's
time.
like when they released Avatar. They're like, we need to make another more $1 billion.
More billion?
Yeah, because Avatar 3 might make a more $1 billion.
That's its own form of currency.
Yeah. No, but I had a fantastic time at my one evening in Sundance. It
Yeah.
was fun.
Way to go, Ethan.
Film festivals.
And
Yeah.
and our Sundance experience may not be totally over because our sound recordist and kind of co-producer, pretty much Tori,
Yeah.
snagged a ticket to DD, which is one of the
Yes.
premiere films
DD.
of the festival. So
King
we have a
DD.
screener link for that.
And we'll talk about it next episode.
We will, yeah, because we're gonna be watching it sometime next
wanna
weekend.
spotlight that
So
movie.
we're definitely gonna have a review for you
Yeah.
for DD. That was
Let's get to
Sundance,
the-
but
let's get to the meat.
we have Oscar nominations to talk about. So just kind of going through, what were some of your biggest surprises when you heard the nominations? What was like one that like
Negative
really,
or positive?
either one? What was one that maybe took you by surprise or just really caught you off guard or just did not align? Because Brandon, your predictions were pretty spot on.
Yeah.
But there were definitely one or two that caught you by surprise.
I think because Defoe got in at SAG, and I'm just doing it based on precursors and notoriety. I thought that they didn't like Ruffalo's performance because he wasn't nominated like anywhere, even though everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to be the supporting actor nom this year." So that surprised me. And then my big surprise is probably Anatomy of a Fallen director, which I love.
I'm very
happy
happy
about
about
that.
Love that
Justine
nomination.
Triet, like, oh my god, that movie, like, I saw it with Ethan and Tori and
And-
Charlie Day of all people. He was in our theater when we saw it.
Tell the story.
Uh,
It's a fun story.
I mean, it's kind of a fun story. The story is we were like in the lobby before Anatomy of a Fall, and then all of a sudden Ethan goes, Charlie Day just walked in.
Well, because I was like checking my phone while waiting for my food, and I heard, yeah, can I get a large popcorn and a medium drink? And I was like, I know that fucking food.
Yeah, it's like you
man.
look
Like,
over
wait.
and it was Charlie Day,
Yeah.
and he was in our theater. He was initially sitting a few rows in front of us, but then he got up left, and I thought, oh man, did he overhear us talking about him, and he wanted to keep a low profile, but then he sat right behind us. He was in the seat literally right behind us. So we did experience that movie with the great Charlie Day. Charlie, if you're listening, we're huge fans.
And we're wondering, what did you think of the movie, Charlie?
Yeah, we want to know your thoughts. So, but yeah, Justine Triet, what a nomination!
Totally earned.
I think that was one of my favorite directed films of the year.
Yes.
You guys saw it with me. I was shaken to my core.
He was.
So I'm happy that Anatomy had a good turnout. I really am. Yeah. But how about you guys? What caught your attention?
I was so happy that Godzilla -1
Yes,
got something.
Oscar
It got something.
nominee
VFX. and
Godzilla
that's
minus
deserved.
got
one.
visual effects, and I think there's a chance it'll win.
It's a pretty, not a thin category, but a very competitive category.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You
of
don't
Like, I
have
think
an
the
Avatar
creators-
this year.
I think it's between the creator and Godzilla.
Yeah.
Really, Oppenheimer? Because
not
Oppenheimer won.
It's not nominated.
Wait, did it not?
No,
No.
it didn't get
Oh
nominated.
my god, I
VFX.
completely missed
And
that.
see, that's why, because Oppie wasn't there, I was like,
Oh yeah, the door's open.
I think it's time
Door
for
is
Goji.
wide
Yeah.
open.
Yeah. No, I think Napoleon's taking it.
are you serious?
I'm joking.
I was,
No.
Okay,
honestly,
can we
I would
talk-
be like, I wouldn't be surprised if it did, because I remember 2018, I was like, dude, Avengers Infinity War is going to win the Oscar, because they like
Because
made Thanos and
Thanos
stuff.
looks
And you
real.
know what won? First Man.
Yeah,
But
and I was
First
like,
Man's got good visual effects.
No, it
though.
does, yeah, but like,
and hasn't
It's-
there been a lot of discourse in the visual effects community of like what constitutes that award? Because movies like First Man and Oppenheimer use a lot of practical
Right.
in-camera effects.
Right,
yeah.
Is that VFX or is it digital? Like,
are they going just completely? Because it started out as special effects.
Yeah, is it just
Right.
meant to be effects in general, or is it?
I
meant to
Yeah.
be-
just thought you would take
Two
into
things.
account of both. Like, I didn't think it would be like, oh, we only support films that are like visual effects CGI heavy nominations.
right.
You know, I'm surprised that they didn't factor that in for Oppenheimer because it's all practical for the most part. You know, and that's
is.
like
even like the floating
And-
like
and that
disc
was-
thing in the bed.
And that was part of the marketing. The marketing was Nolan
real.
was like everything's real.
He really
The bomb-
detonated that nuke.
The bomb drop is all in camera.
And
like,
maybe
that's what
he
was
shot
saying.
himself in the foot with that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, since it's all real, then it's not
Yeah,
visual effects. Because I don't know.
But also shout
Right.
out Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh
because
yeah,
I
very well done.
genuinely think like look at Rocket in the first Guardians from 2014 and then look at Rocket now and it's like wow, like we've come a long way.
Yeah.
It was not on the short list, right?
No,
Was
it
it?
was.
And it had to
was?
have been.
It was, yeah.
I thought it wasn't.
Usually,
Oh, you know what it wasn't on?
what?
Makeup and hair. Which
Yes.
that's on my notes. I think that's one of the biggest snubs. Is
True.
that- because it
Absolutely.
is the movie with the most prosthetics in any production ever.
Wait, is that true?
Yes, the most because all those the half-world creatures.
Yeah.
it's the most prosthetic effects used in any blockbuster,
Wow.
and
I did not know this at all.
I'm like, I think that's one of the
Wow.
biggest snubs.
Well,
That
people-
is a snub.
Well, people are saying for that category that Barbie is snubbed, but
I do think Barbie. Has been
I
snubbed for
don't
that.
know about that.
Well, I don't think you know a lot about like makeup
Oh.
and hair. Do you?
What
you?
were the okay? Let's wait.
Case in
Wait.
point.
Let's take Chris. Take a look at makeup and hair. Can you read out the nominees that actually were nominated?
For makeup and hairstyling, we have Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow.
Okay.
Interesting. I haven't seen Golda or Society.
Poor
of the
Things is
Snow.
gonna win.
Yeah, Poor
Yeah,
Things will
I
win.
mean, look at Willem Dafoe in that movie. The
Insane.
makeup job is
I-
pretty excellent.
4 hours
I have
apparently
seen
for that.
Society of the Snow.
How is it?
Excellent.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
That's an international film, right?
Right. It's from Spain. It's
Okay.
nominated for Best International.
España.
España.
Spain.
Barcelona. I love going to Barcelona.
It's got good makeup. The reason why I think Barbie didn't get in is because it's not a lot of like face or like body part work. You know,
That is true. There's not a
The
lot of
prosthetics,
prosthetics
yeah.
in Barbie. It's pretty
and-
straightforward.
But
and
I
the
feel
hair
like-
is just
But
modern.
I
like
do
it's
think
just
there's
like
a lot
modern
of effort put into
hairstyles.
like the traditional makeup in that.
yeah.
Yeah,
All the
definitely.
Barbies
That's
true.
and,
It's
and their
just-
hairstyling in that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely. It's just less showy, if
Right,
you will. You
But,
know what I mean?
but
Yeah.
also that goes into the discussion of like visual effects as
Yeah,
well.
like-
Because like sometimes the Academy Awards films for showing visual effects were like, oh, like a lot of visual effects are put in this, but it's like it's unseen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I feel like
Yeah.
the same can be said for.
And the people voting on these awards are the people who actually like work in that field, so they're gonna know like what is actually impressive and what's not.
Well, I mean, like in terms of like the Academy typically doesn't recognize stuff that is more subtle. Like if they nominate something, it's because it did a lot of something, not because you didn't notice it.
That's true. Our good friend Jack, I remember I was having a conversation with him last Oscars. Shout out
Jack.
Jack Rule. And he was saying like when you're making your predictions, always go for like the most of something because that's most likely to get the most votes.
Right.
Regardless of if it actually deserves it.
Yeah.
It's like what is the most notable, what is the most out there. So
True.
that's true. I want to toss this over to our resident cinematographer, Chris. Let's look over these cinematography
Yes.
nominees because I
Yes.
remember last year you kind of had a bone to pick
Yeah,
with the nominees.
last year,
to crop.
I mean, I wasn't like offended or anything by the list, but I definitely think there were some films that were overlooked. I remember last year I was like kind of baffled that the Batman didn't get it
Batman or Top Gun.
or Top Gun,
which is shocking.
Decision
That's
to Leave
crazy.
Nothing, and like. And
Tar's a good pick.
Even
Yeah.
yeah, Tar's a good pick.
Nothing
But, like,
that the nominees weren't.
yeah, the nominees were all very well
deserving.
shot. Don't get me wrong, but like, I just felt a little differently. And I remember at the time, even Deakins came out and said Batman should have been nominated and win.
Wow! Instead of him for
Yeah,
what
he's
was
like-
that movie again?
Freaking the Sam Mendes movie.
Oh my!
The
we
one
saw
about
it.
the theater.
Empire of the Light.
Empire of Light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very quiet movie. Kind of came and went.
But this year looking pretty good. I honestly have not seen a thing from El Conde.
Yeah,
El Conde.
I'm
don't
gonna
even know.
be honest.
Let's
I haven't
watch that.
heard
Yeah,
about it.
I'd love
Let's
to.
do
What?
those-
I'm
where-
sure
where is
it'll
it?
come out
Netflix.
again.
Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's on Netflix. Yeah.
It was done by the guy who did Spencer.
Oh, okay.
I did like the cinematography.
Yeah, Spencer's very well shot. Kills of the Flower Moon, love.
Great.
Maestro, haven't seen it. Heard nothing but good things though.
Maestro. Okay, if I can interject,
Yeah.
the cinematography of Maestro may be my favorite. Of
Yeah.
the year.
You guys,
They-
I gotta hand it to Matthew Libatique. He knows what he's
He's
doing.
great, and like that movie, I don't love the movie, but I love how it's shot. There's like
Yeah.
so many amazing images, and he does this really cool thing. I hope this isn't a spoiler. I don't think it is, but as it progresses through Bernstein's life, he actually replicates the look of different film stocks.
Yeah.
From the different eras,
is
which,
very-
I thought
very
was
spicy.
like absolutely beautiful and super creative. So yeah, I want to shout out the work there. I think that's an excellent. I don't know if it's gonna win. As a matter of fact, I would not bet it against Oppenheimer, but
Yep.
yeah, I do want to shout out the work in there.
Hoyt
Yeah.
van Hoytma, come on.
Yeah, Hoyt van Hoytma for Oppenheimer. Oh my
Bro.
god.
Yeah,
Guy
it's hard to
went-
deny.
That's how that guy is like the cinematographer now. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Especially like last year he shot Nope and it literally invented it.
should've
He
That should have been
He
nominated.
should've
He
won.
literally
What did win
invented a
last
new
year?
last year All
All
Quiet.
quiet.
And mind you, Hoyta literally invented a new way to shoot night exteriors that no one thought of before.
Can I share
and
a
now
fun
it's like
fact
I
about
think it's the
this
best way to
lineup?
do it.
What?
Every film nominated for Best Picture this year, or not Best Picture, for Best Cinematography,
Yeah.
is partially shot in black and white.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Oh.
true.
It has a
Killers.
sequence, or Killers does.
Oh my god, it's my like.
Wait,
Probably my favorite of the
when does it
year.
happen in Killers?
Is it just like some like some small B-roll moments?
Yeah,
of, like,
yeah, yeah.
The shots.
Okay.
Of
But
them?
still,
But
black
it
and
counts.
Yeah,
It counts.
yeah.
Fun
Hey,
fact.
black and white's coming back.
That's a fun fact.
Maybe the cinematographer's branch like really cares about that.
No,
It's cool.
they
They
love
love the contrast.
And they love when you like
Hachi
switch
Machi.
between color and black.
Yeah,
and
because it's
white.
like
Oh,
it's
it's like,
creative.
ooh,
What are you
yeah.
using it
Maestro
for,
and
you know?
Oppenheimer. It's the battle of two.
And Poor Things.
Oh, yeah,
I think
Poor
Poor
Things did
Things
it.
has
Poor
a
Things-
really great transition
Oh,
between black and white and
So
color.
smart. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
Vivid.
Yeah.
Two films that I wish were nominated in cinematography.
Let's hear it.
Priscilla.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think the way that
Very well shot.
specifically, not even just like how it's shot, but how it's lighted, how
Yeah.
it's lit.
lighted.
Lighted.
Hey man,
All right, let's
come
see.
on.
Yeah.
Slow
Stick
down.
to-
How much left do we have here?
Stick to the
A
props,
lighted
man.
weight over here.
It's lighted. I like the colors in it too. No, I do like the coloring of it.
It's
Does
very
that does that count? Is that like part of the cinematography?
Coloring
award?
is coloring. That's the thing. Color kind of falls under production design and cinematography because cinematographers have some control in post production because we
True.
tweak.
Yeah.
But when you have the set, that's it.
It's
you know?
it's the
the set.
production designer like determining color palettes.
and the cinematographer collaborates with
Exactly,
the
because
production designer on
also
that too,
colors
so-
look different depending on how you light them
and what camera you're using, and
Exactly,
lenses and
like
stuff,
it's
yeah.
really I want to talk about production design because
yeah.
I think one of the
year
biggest
for
snubs, and I'm surprised that it just kind of flew under the radar, was I'm so surprised that Asteroid City
Yep.
Got
did
that is-
not
nothing.
show up.
Oh
Got
my
nothing.
God.
I'm
In
sure you're
production
happy
design.
about that, Chris.
Well, yeah.
Wait,
No,
why?
well,
Why
no.
you? Why?
Because he
I-
doesn't watch it because he
I-
doesn't like Wes
I
Anderson.
I have accepted the fact that at a certain point where I'm like I think I'm okay on my Wes Anderson but I will if someone put it on and I'm there I'll watch it but I'll never see
All
it on
right,
myself.
tape him down.
So
Down.
We're forcing him to watch.
yeah,
the
I
French
haven't
Dispatch.
seen a Wes Anderson film since Grand Budapest.
Really?
I've revisited everything prior.
Okay,
but then I have not like gone
The
forward.
French Dispatch, which was his
It
movie
does
before
look
this,
really pretty.
I recommend that.
It's just so
And
unique.
Asteroid City is so good. Oh my god.
Yeah, you really
That
dug
movie's-
Asteroid City.
Yes, I think that movie's snubbed for so much.
I'm
stuff.
surprised that it didn't like get any
well,
push from the
Henry
studio.
Sugar got something, right?
Henry Sugar, which is great.
He
and
is
I think, I
nominated
think
this
that
year.
one probably will win because it is a really
It's
great short
Wes.
film.
Yeah, and it's Wes
Um,
Anderson. They're gonna want to reward him.
I think it was snubbed for production design. I think it was snubbed for cinematography. I think
yeah.
I think the cine in that movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it. Here's a hot take: best lead actor. I think Jason
Really?
Schwartzman
Oh.
incredible. Sign that
That's-
shit. Put it away.
I'm
Incredible
not
in
like
the film.
dissing him or your opinion, but that's like a very like like I haven't heard anybody else.
I
bring
know
him
nobody's
up.
talking about it, and I was blown away by his performance in that film.
I think it's just
Yeah.
because it's just such an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
that it's
I-
hard to
I
pick
get that.
anyone
It's
out.
tough with
he gets lost because there are so many actors.
it's
Yeah.
tough with Wes Anderson movies to like pick out somebody.
But,
'cause
like,
Yeah, because he does. He loves putting together a big cast.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can name so many scenes where Jason Schwartzman's like he just nails it. Like the scene when he's auditioning for his character,
yeah,
the scene when he's talking to Margot Robbie, the scene when he's talking about like what's the point of this play? Like what's the point? You know, that's one of the best scenes this year.
if anything, this film should have been nominated for best original song. For
Yeah,
the
that
Dear,
too.
for Dear Alien.
For Dear
Oh
Alien.
yeah, I remember that little
And
Dear
Little ditty.
Alien, who
And
art
visual
in
effects.
heaven.
little
the
a
stop
visual
motion
effects
visual
film?
effects. I think that would have
Yeah.
been really a unique thing, you know. And like, I feel like a lot of visual effects are used to make like the backdrops of that.
That's
town,
true.
you
Yeah,
know?
no, there was a lot of like set extensions. I think.
But yeah, I'm sad about
I mean, production,
Asteroid City
and there was like a
getting
lot
nothing.
of like stuff coming out from like Architectural Digest with the production designer of like how he actually created that world. And
built
it's just,
the whole town
And it's,
from the
I'm
ground up.
surprised with all of that publicity, like it just got completely ignored.
Right.
But, I mean, looking over the other nominees, like all of these are really deserving. Obviously, I think it is a toss up between Barbie and Poor Things, with Barbie kind of having the edge there, just because the world of that film is just so colorful, vibrant, and maybe the most memorable
If
of
I'm
the year.
if I'm taking anything out, it would be Killers of the Flower Moon or a Napoleon.
And why is that?
For production design?
Yeah, because for Killers of the Flower Moon, I think it is less noticeable there. Like the design, it is how it is written in the book, which is great. But I Oppenheimer's more impressive just because like you had to build like a whole town in the middle of nowhere.
What's the town called again? Do you guys
Trinity?
remember?
No,
No.
because that's the test. But what's the
Isn't it not El Paso?
Oh my
Jesus.
god! I bet like
give me
our,
a minute. Give me a second.
our listeners are screaming at us right now. Okay, so kind of a surprise hot button topic that I want to dive into.
Oh boy.
Um,
Here we go.
okay, so obviously Barbie was financially and also kind of socially the biggest hit of the year.
Yes.
Like we
Oh,
all
yeah.
knew that. It was a
Big
social
time.
phenomenon.
Yeah.
And Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig were both not nominated for Best Lead Actress and Best Director. Is it a snub? Because this has been a huge, man, people are going nuts about this.
Before we talk
Yeah.
about this, let's
Let's look.
acknowledge. Look at us.
We're
Look at these
four-
guys.
I think
These are
us
these are four.
dudes
These are four Kens.
should share.
Talking
their
about this
Take it with a
opinions.
grain of salt.
So yeah, take it with whatever. We're just gonna like
What we say is final.
what we say is absolutely final.
I'm
That's
unafraid.
And actually, they're gonna have us like talk about this during the Oscars.
Yeah.
We're coming up on stage.
Yeah,
We're gonna be like, listen up, okay? Tough shit, all right? Tough fucking shit. Okay.
But Brandon, I know that you have some thoughts. So remember, take this with a grain of salt. But Brandon, dive in.
No, it's not.
It's not a snub. And why is that?
Well, we have so many great performances by actresses in leading roles this year. Now, I haven't seen Nayad yet, and I'll intend to watch everything before the Oscar ceremony. But as far as the other four performances go, I wouldn't remove any of them for Margot Robbie and Barbie. She's great. But like, there is like not really a moment that stands out to me in her performance that is like, oh, this is subtlety. She is playing a Barbie doll that is realizing stuff about herself, which is great. But when I look at her performance, like I would easily sub it in for somebody like Greta Lee in past lives.
That's true. I
Or-
feel like nobody's talking about that.
Here's one that we should talk about: Kaylee Spaney
For
As
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
as Priscilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Priscilla
god,
got nothing.
It
That-
got goose
That's a
eggs.
crime.
that
is.
might be my
Most regrettable thing.
second favorite performance of this year.
Oh wow.
Just like in
in
general.
general,
In
across
general.
the board.
Yeah,
Wow.
I just
It
just
is
the
very good.
the amount of resiliency that she's able to carry in that film
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think it's only matched by. I think my favorite performance is Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer.
That's your favorite of the year? Maybe. Wow. Yeah.
He's
and
great in it.
right now
He-
it's
like I keep rewatching clips of that film, and I'm gonna rewatch that movie before I go. I'm gonna do a double feature of Oppenheimer and Godzilla -1 on Friday.
that's an insane.
You're gonna be
Right?
so sad.
Oh my god.
Your
that's
ex-
an
existential Ethan's
insane
coming out.
I'm putting
Double
myself
feature.
through the ringer. I can't wait.
nuclear
But like
bomb retrospection.
Downey Jr. in that film is just like he is just on a whole other level.
He is. And also just like what a moment it's gonna be. Because like let's be real,
He's
he's
charismatic.
probably gonna win.
No, that is
He's winning.
there's
right?
like two locks.
Yes.
I think in
Divine.
Divine Joy
supporting-
Randolph,
the
the
supporting.
supporting,
Supportings.
and Downey Jr.
yeah.
locked.
They're
There's
in.
a chance he loses.
Who do you think
who?
he'd lose to?
Ryan.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, but
Ryan?
here's the
No
thing.
way.
I
If-
don't believe
listen,
it.
If he
It's
does
either
lose,
it's De
if he
Niro.
does lose to Ryan, I won't be mad.
If Ken wins,
If Ken wins, that'd be great.
we'll see how SAG goes because SAG is gonna like
The
determine a
actors
lot.
love Barbie, man.
The actors
And I
do
know,
love
I
it.
know
They do?
everybody
well,
votes
not
for
enough.
And
to,
well, here's the thing. Well, listen to this. Listen to this. I know that Oppenheimer is like the clear front runner right now, but I'm wondering if all of this press, there's almost gonna be like an extra push for Barbie
No.
and maybe Picture.
okay, but
Here's the reasoning.
Why?
they've already voted, right?
No, they're voting still.
No, they're still voting. Okay.
But the I don't think it fell off because there's a lot of branches that are not going to like it. It's based on the preferential ballot. It's going to fall for a lot of people. Yes, it could get that extra push from some people who just want to vote in spite of what happened, but it's still got 8 nominations. And honestly, there are probably other films that are more well liked by the majority of Academy members. Like, I want to say, like Oppenheimer, The Holdovers,
Oh yeah, sure.
Anatomy of a
think
Fall.
Oppenheimer
which we'll get into, I'm
is
sure.
like still a very clear front runner.
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm just surprised. I'm very surprised because I kind of expected Margot and Greta not to get in.
Me
if
too.
I'm being honest, I did not expect to see their names, but like just seeing the
fallout.
backlash.
Oh, the Twitter. Don't go on there anymore.
It was so sad.
It's crazy on there.
Sorry,
right now.
X.
But the thing is, you have to acknowledge that like the people talking about this,
Have seen 2 movies.
2 movies a year.
Yeah.
They've only seen. They probably haven't seen like.
It feels.
I
like
bet you
it.
they
They've
have
probably
not seen
only
Anatomy
seen
of a Fall.
Oppenheimer,
No.
and that's probably the rest of the Best Picture nominees
It
they've
actually made me so mad.
seen. Why?
Well, because I know there are people who like only watch 2 movies a year because they're not big fans of movies. They might be joining a cultural conversation by watching a movie, but they almost like they're not fans of film like we are. And I'm not trying to gatekeep. I want as many people to watch like Anatomy of a Fall as possible, Past Lives and whatnot.
Other underseen movies.
Underseen movies.
Right.
But when you see such like vitriol towards like all the other nominees, like I did a count before the show with my girlfriend, and we counted how many nominees.
I'm pointing at her right now. She's
Shout out
right
to
behind the
Ellen.
camera.
And,
Also sweet.
and there are 120 nominations, and 60 of them are women.
Which is
Progress.
good. That's huge
Very-
progress.
That's
Huge progress
A
for
long
the
way to
Oscars.
go still.
Yeah.
Long way to go.
And I'm not saying, oh, it's done, but
No.
there's a woman in Best Director who's very deserving.
Justine Triet.
Justine Triet.
Seriously.
Margot
Oh,
Robbie
yeah,
still
for
has
real.
a nomination for Best
Best
Picture.
Picture. I just
And
want
Greta
to.
Gerwig has a nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
Chris,
original.
what were you
I just
gonna
want to
say?
say, like, because
Adapted.
you were
It's
talking about
adapted.
this. One thing that, like, kind of similarly to you, Brian, like, all of us here really like Barbie.
Yeah,
I mean,
we do.
Ethan's a
Yeah.
big
I
time fan
love
of
Barbie.
Yeah,
He liked
Ethan
it the
loves-
most.
Yeah,
Yeah, I loved
And
it.
like, I remember going to the movies with my mom and my sister and just seeing them light up during that movie, and it was great. I had a great time in
Yeah.
that movie. But yeah, I'm kind of with like you guys on this too. Like, and I also think like Margot is still nominated for because she was she was the producer of this film.
She
She
made
was.
it happen.
And she made
She-
it. This
yeah.
movie would not exist without
She
Margot.
got the rights. She
and
got
killed
Greta.
it.
Like she put it all together.
Yeah, and like she literally gave Greta the job, and
She did.
And Greta, I think, worked really well. But yeah, I think one thing that does frustrate me about all of this discourse that you see online is that it, like you said, it kind of takes the spotlight off of the achievements from other female filmmakers
Right.
and other
Yes.
feminist directors. Like, for example, I was thinking of like, of course we talked about Justin Triet and Celine Song, but also like even like Sophie, like there's directors who were just not acknowledged this year, and like Greta is an incredible feminist director in my eyes, but she's not the only female filmmaker, and no one's talking about like Sofia Coppola, Kelly Fremont Craig for
Oh, man.
Are You There, God?
Are You There, God? It's Me,
okay,
Margaret.
with
yeah.
the Critics' Choice nomination, I was so hoping to see a Best Adapted
Yeah.
Screenplay nom for Are You There, God?
Yeah.
If It's Me, Margaret.
And
if you haven't seen it,
it's
it
great.
is
It is great.
absolutely delightful. I've seen it like 5 times. It's an
Yeah.
instant classic. It's one of the best coming of age movies. Like, please
They
watch it.
should have played it later. in the
And
year.
that's like,
Yeah.
that's just like there's like A.V. Rockwell for like 1001. There's
Yeah.
Nadia Manzoor for Polite Society.
Oh, so fun. Such a
and
fun movie.
like Emma, I'm gonna mispronounce it.
Seligman?
Seligman
Yeah.
for Bottoms.
Yeah.
I know that's not like a Oscar
Bottoms be
movie,
like.
but like like there's more than one like female director in the industry,
Right.
And like especially like with Justine Triet,
She's
so like that movie was
Yeah,
masterfully
she needs
directed.
she needs her
And
flowers.
I hope that the discourse surrounding Greta doesn't overshadow Justine's.
yeah.
what already
achievement.
has though, right? Like you
feel like-
had like a famous people tweeting about it.
And I also feel like that category's a lock too for Nolan.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
And also directing,
Right?
like even outside of Nolan, it was a really competitive
Honestly.
year.
It was
If
a
you look
tough
at
year.
look at
Tough
that
year.
directing lineup, look at this directing lineup. Tell me who you're booting out. Are you gonna boot out Scorsese?
Yeah, if you wanted to put in
I
Greta,
might.
Are you okay?
Honestly, yeah.
I just might
I
not for
disagree.
Greta.
I disagree. I think that Killers is some of his most
I would bump
accomplished
him for
work.
Pain.
Are
which
you
is-
gonna
I'd
Are you gonna
probably
bump
take out-
Glazer?
Yo, okay, here is who I would sub out for
Okay.
Martin Scorsese.
Who?
I think
Coppola?
Hayao Miyazaki should have gotten a bet. There's never been an animation director nomination, and this should have been the year.
They could have done
Because
it.
this is one of Hayao Miyazaki's most
Personal and
reflective films on his career, on his life,
on his life, the way he
and
views the world.
just like the way you looked at how he directs The Boy and the Heron. It's insane how he like creates that world and like communicates these insanely deep themes, these insanely poetic themes. You know,
Bottoms up, Chris.
Bottoms
Bottoms up
He's-
to
look
that.
at- he drank all of his water.
Down
That's
it for
crazy.
Miyazaki.
I'm hydrated.
He's hydrated now. But if I could have anything, I would love to have Hayao Miyazaki finally recognized as
A director.
a director.
Yeah.
Because he's the greatest director of all time. I'm just gonna say that for me personally. I think he is the greatest director
there.
of all
He's up
time.
there.
I
up
think
there. Top 10.
nobody is
the
going
worlds that
to
he makes,
shake their head at that.
The messages that he puts in all of his films and the way he's able to communicate them with every single movie he's made.
And the wide range of movies he's made.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
worked in the animated space, but if you watch his filmography, no movies are. I mean, like he's definitely tackles similar themes, but like he's kind of done it all in that space. He's tackled so much, and yeah, it would have been cool. I don't know. Part of me was thinking earlier in the year, like, man, Boy and the Heron, like I totally could see him. Like if it comes out and it's a hit.
Yeah.
Like it could totally snag a best picture, best director, something like that nomination. I just think it was like that movie wasn't your typical like audience friendly.
I don't
which
think
isn't a bad thing, but I
No.
think it just wasn't as accessible as some of his other
No,
movies.
it's certainly, and I don't think the dub did that any justice either.
Oh, really?
Because, you know, I was talking about this with you, Brandon. So I saw the film twice in Japanese with no subtitles, and then I saw it. I saw the dub, and I did not like the movie because of the dub. But then I watched it again with subtitles in its original Japanese language, and actually like seeing how these ideas are communicated through the tone of the Japanese language. You know, it's completely different than English. Like some things just get lost in translation, and I feel like people didn't appreciate the film enough.
Funnily enough, I still really love the movie, even though I only saw the dub.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't seen the sub, so maybe
Maybe you'll love it even more.
Who knows?
Because like it's just like that film is poetry, and I feel Japanese poetry
That's a good way to describe it.
is a lot different than American poetry.
Oh, vastly different.
Kind of feels
know?
like a lifetime achievement nomination to me. Not because because for me, like Boy and the Heron doesn't stand out as much from his other work. Like I don't think it's better than The Wind Rises or
No,
anything like
it's
that.
not. Like,
So
but yeah, but
that makes it
even
hard
I
for
feel
me, but-
Scorsese is there for a lifetime. I'm not saying he did a bad
Oh,
job.
Lifetime
I think he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But I think he is there just because of his
Pedigree.
pedigree.
Yeah.
You know?
Which
so
is
if you're gonna take anybody out, it's him.
I would take Scorsese out. I would take who else is nominated? Because then I would also want to put Sofia Coppola in there. I think
I don't know. This is a tough
this
one.
is pretty tight,
No,
though.
I would take out
Glazer?
Jonathan Glazer and
What?
Martin Scorsese and replace it with Hayao Miyazaki and Sofia Coppola.
Really? I don't know.
I
dude.
wouldn't take out Glazer.
Glazer, like Zone of Interest, that was one of the most
No,
unique
it's great.
visions I've ever seen in a film, if I'm being honest.
I just think I don't know.
I get where you're at, but like
I'm not saying he
getting
did
at-
a bad job. I'm just saying like, oh man, like Hayao Miyazaki, he put so much of his life. He put 10 years of his life in that movie.
think
Sofia Coppola,
yeah.
she had to fight the biggest uphill battle to get Priscilla made.
Yeah,
You know,
because she probably had so much like estate issues.
estate.
and, like,
Estate-
probably,
estate
Lisa
issues,
Marie to her
funding-
grave,
funding
like,
issues.
did not support the film.
Nobody was funding this film.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Like, in the scenes when Priscilla is driving through L.A., she reused footage from commercials that she shot.
really.
Yeah,
just
and she
'cause-
used the wides because she's like, this woman in this car kind of looks like Priscilla.
Wow.
So that the shots when she's driving through
I
LA,
did not know that.
She shot that years ago
oh
for
my
a commercial
God.
because she couldn't get the funding for it.
That's
And I'm just like,
crazy.
oh man, Elvis got nominated for so
I know,
many,
that-
so
and
much
that's-
shit last
and
year,
it's such-
and Priscilla got nothing.
And like
Oh.
it just furthers
That's very
the
apt for that
juxtaposition.
story, is it not?
exactly,
Right.
It
right?
furthers
meta.
the juxtaposition between those two films. No, I'm totally with
Yeah.
you. Priscilla's in my top 10 of the year. I think it's like an absolutely beautiful
good.
film.
It's a good movie.
It's a
fantastic.
great movie.
Great
This
movie.
is the discourse we're going into.
All right, what do we want to talk about
Okay,
next?
I want to talk about score. I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy.
All right,
Here we go.
Let me put
Okay.
the glass of wine down.
Let's talk about score. I do have an
Ethan's mad about
interesting
this
question relating to this, but
Yes.
let's just go over the list and let's talk about these nominees,
I
what
listened
we
to
like,
it
what we
all.
don't like.
Before we talk about it, this is the worst category. This is the worst category of the
I
year.
think it's definitely probably like the most disappointing.
Yeah.
In terms of what's not there.
I think your top 2 or 3
So
are there.
this
though,
is
for
this is
me.
what we have. We have American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. I think all of them are really good scores, except and my beloved John Williams. You guys know me. I'm a
No, we all love John.
He's
We all
one of
love
the
him.
greatest
Nobody
composers
is
ever.
nobody
He's
is dissing John Williams.
No.
However, what
Get
the
the
hell?
fogey out of there, bro.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be there.
It's the same.
He's
theme.
91.
It's the same shit.
We've heard it, and like whatever new stuff he's added, it's good.
And they just nominated him because he said it was going to be his last film.
But it's
I
not.
And then he
really-
took
He
it back.
says
And he took
that
it back.
every
Yeah, it's
2
not going to be
years.
his last one.
No.
Spielberg has Bullet. There's and like as long as John Williams is alive, he's scoring that movie.
That's funny that he's like, oh, I'm going to go out with the Fablemans, like a Spielberg like passion piece, and then
Yeah.
he comes
Yeah.
back and he does a really subpar Indiana Jones score. Because I listened to all the scores this morning, except Oppenheimer, because I've heard it enough. Yeah. And it is by far the least deserving. It is like you said, Chris, there's a lot of like motifs that are common from the other movies.
Yeah.
And then even the new stuff, it's not very memorable. There's nothing like the stuff from Raiders of the Lost Ark that is
Yeah.
like so memorable that we all love.
Right.
And then you've got like Poor Things, which is like a unique,
yeah,
weird.
unique.
Yeah,
I'm,
weird.
I'm happy
I'm
that it's
into
there.
that.
I
Poor
would keep
Things
it
is
there.
great.
I would keep Poor Things, Oppenheimer. I would maybe keep American Fiction. I really love. I think it's like some fantastic jazz.
It's
And I love
yeah,
jazz.
I
it's
do.
all right.
I
like,
do like
yeah.
the American Fiction.
At
song.
first, when I saw it, I was like, "Huh?" But then I
Here's-
was like, "Remember?" I was like, "Oh no, that was
Here's
actually
a
really
snub,
good."
and I'm one. Okay, no, actually, Chris, you go ahead.
I literally just saw American Fiction, like
Yeah.
not kidding, like 30 minutes
Right before this
we
episode.
He
got
walked
here.
through the
I
door.
walked through
Literally
the door.
got he got here straight
Yeah,
from watching
and
it.
yeah, the music is very good. It's
Yeah.
it's quite like passive as far as like a score goes
Right,
in
yeah.
terms of a movie, but it works. It works really well. I think that there are 3 movies in my head that I would have wanted to see in the original
Let's
score
hear it.
section, which are Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, just because I really like Metro Boomin's music, and also like I think he does do a lot of really cool like electronic stuff. I really like Boy and the Heron, but
Oh,
that's excellent.
that should
And-
have. It should have won,
but
bro.
another one that I want to throw in, and I think you might agree with this, is Godzilla -1.
Those
Has
are my two.
Yes,
excellent
I was
score.
about to say.
Those are the
I
two
think,
best scores of this year.
I think Godzilla -1 was one of my favorite scores
It's
of any
so well.
blockbuster that I've seen recently, like of a big scope movie. Like that third act, the way the score just
when
brings it all
Koichi is
together.
flying the plane and
Yeah.
he's looking out into the
And it's like,
Japanese
yeah.
countryside and he flies towards Godzilla. The title of that song is Resolution. I get goosebumps. I tear up every time I hear that song.
Yeah.
It is like when the vocals come like you're like this is everything.
I would say Godzilla and Boy and the Heron.
Though yes.
But then I would go
And Boy and the Heron-
Suzume.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
Suzume.
Suzume was good.
Suzume also, that should have been nominated for animated feature.
Also, I think the Holdovers. I know,
The
like
Holdovers
a
does
lot
have
of
a good
people.
score.
A lot of people recognize the Holdovers, like the sound in Holdovers, for the songs that's used. You know, that's
Yeah.
already existed.
the
but
soundtrack, yeah.
but literally the score
The score
is
is
so good. Like
Yeah.
the drive to Boston, or the way, yeah, or the because the way that soundtrack is compiled is like it's compiled with Leah motifs, and when you watch the or not when you watch, when you listen to the score, it's like he combines Leah motifs to make one song.
Yeah.
So the Leah motif of the glove, when it's like this flute.
Oh, well, provide context. So it's the scene where
When the Mormon boy, he gets his little glove thrown into the river.
yes,
you know?
there is that little.
There's like this nice little flute that I'm just like, it takes me right back to like the 60s.
It
and
really
the
does,
70s.
and it kind of just amplifies the themes of the film with loneliness and
Yeah.
like kind of just like drifting and just like a very like sad, kind of somber moment.
But it's also like timeless.
it is
Because it sounds
Yeah.
like it came from the 70s.
It really does.
That's
And-
the why Payne, I think, deserved director. personally, because he did such a great job at crafting.
I mean, tying it back to directing. Yeah, that's the most
it's a
impressive
tight-
part
It's a melancholic
of the holdovers.
past like film that was shot on film.
That's just a tough race, and
it is. It's
I'm
tough.
not mad that he's not in there, but like, if he wasn't there, I'd be like, great.
You're fine.
You know,
You're fine.
I'm fine that he's not in there, but there's like I said, Sofia Coppola and Hayao Miyazaki.
Oh yeah.
I have a question to ask in terms of score.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you judge when you're like evaluating the score? How do you judge it? Do you judge it by the music itself or how it pairs with the movie?
A bit of both. For me, at least.
It has to
both.
be.
A bit of both.
It has to be.
Because
think-
it's one thing to listen to it on its own and like think it's really good, but it's also like how does it like ingrain with the film? How does it amplify its themes or set the pacing of a scene or something like that? It's like
Amplify emotion, whatnot.
it's like in terms of like when you're judging it, like when you're picking out your favorite scores.
Honestly, I think score is like, me personally, I think it's one of the most important parts of a film.
It is.
It may
I
be
agree.
the most important.
It
think-
might be the
yeah.
I
It
think
you on
might
that.
be. Even the absence of a score
Yeah.
is incredibly important.
Zone of interest.
so.
Yeah.
The Zone of Interest score was really good, and I wouldn't have been mad if that was in there.
See,
The
that's
cacophony of like
it's
voices.
remember the beginning?
Oh, God,
it's like
it's
the beginning of
haunting.
2001.
I thought it
Yes.
was. It's
Like,
definitely
it's like an overture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quality over quantity, and that's
Yeah.
where the Academy probably didn't recognize it. Like you said, most.
but yeah,
Most bold.
Yeah.
I just think there's a tight relationship, but I just think for it to be a truly incredible score is like I have to like really love it when I'm watching the film,
Oh,
but
yeah.
also like
You can have
it's got to be in my Spotify liked playlist.
Really?
Okay, yeah.
For me, it has to just be find some sort of memorability and like tie into moments for me. Like not like, oh, I have to go back and watch the moment just to
Right.
hear the score. But it has to tie into some sort of emotional or thematic resolution to have that impact. So that when I go back and listen to it without
It's like you remember.
I
that moment.
remembering the movie.
The score should be telling the story.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly.
So ironically, it's like John Williams's movies are usually so good. It evokes this scene. I see the movie. I see the thematic trajectory, and then I listen to the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny score. I'm like, what scene is this from? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Well, also just because that's a forgettable ass movie.
Well, yeah,
I
but
can't tell
that's
you one thing that happened.
it's not
Which
distinctive.
sucks because Indiana Jones, like the whole movie, should be memorable. Even
should be.
even Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I can map out that entire film, even though
That's
I
true.
don't think it's the best. Or even Temple of Doom, even though I don't like that film, I can tell you that whole film. I can't tell you shit what happened.
I've said it
can tell
once.
you one
I'll
thing.
I
say
know
it
he goes to the
again.
past, but-
Steven Spielberg is just as important to Indiana Jones as Harrison Ford.
Yep.
You can't do
I can
one of those movies without him. No offense to Mangold. He's a good director. He's proven himself.
Logan's
but
good.
as soon as
fantastic.
Spielberg dropped, they should have dropped the film.
Yep.
They should have just forgotten about it. It wasn't going to work.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even see Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny because I was in Hong Kong when it came out. And I was like, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go with you guys because I'm like,
Right.
Indiana Jones was never like a thing for me growing up.
Yeah.
And then when I heard all the bad like reception, I was like, how did they make Indiana Jones boring? That's crazy.
boring.
How do you
It
make
was
that
such a boring
It's
movie.
so-
Nothing-
Oh
he's
my
the
God.
coolest dude ever.
Okay, why are we talking about Indiana Jones?
Yeah, Indiana Jones. Screw
Let's
this.
get out of here.
Let's talk about Best Actor because this has become a bit of an interesting
Yeah.
race. So right now we have Bradley Cooper for Maestro.
You can pronounce it both ways.
No, you can't. What are you talking
That's not how
about?
words work.
Okay, so we have our guy Bradley. He's in there.
He's
we
good.
have Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction.
yeah.
How are we feeling about this race? Because it's become a bit of a 2-horse race between
I'm-
Paul
I got
and
some
Cillian.
snubs.
I'm happy with the three that I've seen, which are Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, and Jeffrey Wright. I haven't seen Maestro or Rustin. I trust they're good, but
Rustin, he's good, but I wouldn't say like I don't know. I wouldn't say he's
The movie you said the movie. I didn't watch the movie, but you watched it recently. Yesterday was it?
Yeah, I watched it, and I'm starting to discover this like they've created this new subgenre of the biopic. I'm gonna call it the Netflix biopic.
Yeah,
Where
it's
it's
a
like-
trend. It's a huge trend.
It's I would put like the Trial of the Chicago 7 in this movie.
I like that movie.
I know you
yeah,
do.
and you're weird. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I feel like there's like Netflix produces these movies, these biopics, for like one reason, Like
Oscars.
there's one specific thing about the movie like we can win in this category.
Yeah.
And for Rustin, it was Coleman Domingo, his performance, where I feel like the rest of the filmmaking in that film does not match his performance.
No.
Which overall just made the film pretty mid to me. You know?
That is an interesting observation.
It's a great performance, but it's no Cillian Murphy.
We
it's no
we
Giamatti.
are seeing
it's no Jeffrey Wright.
with streaming services.
They're pushing for awards.
They pretty much are. Yeah, they want the pedigree. They want
do.
like
Especially Netflix.
They
Netflix,
want the
oh my
laurels
God.
because
Yeah.
they want that. They want to say like, hey, this film won this,
It, like,
and it'll
helps
attract
legitimize
people on
them.
their platform.
Exactly,
And it's
exactly.
especially with streaming services.
Yeah. You want another hot take of who should have been in there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Best actor.
Ryunosuke Kamiki from Godzilla -1.
Mm.
He played Koichi,
Yeah.
the kamikaze pilot.
He's
Yeah.
good. He's very good.
For
gave it
me,
his all.
it is like in terms of lead performances of the year, it's him, and I would say him and Lily Gladstone are like the two best
Really?
lead performances I've seen this year.
Wow.
Over Giamatti, over Cillian Murphy, like they're great, and I won't be mad whoever of those two wins
Yeah,
lead actor.
they're
I'm
both
like
great.
I'll be totally fine, but like Ryunosuke Kamiki, dude, I just think I've never seen someone communicate guilt and like mental self-torture and just like devastation, because the scene where Godzilla, when he comes to Ginza and he he activates his atomic breath and blows up a part of Tokyo, and Koichi is just there like he doesn't know how to react. So
He's
he
paralyzed,
He's paralyzed. He starts screaming because he lost his love. Well, at least he think he did. And while the black rain's coming on him,
That's
Yeah.
so sad.
that is
It's such a striking
Devastating.
image.
Yeah.
fuck. I like
Are you tearing up right now?
a little bit.
Wow.
Like,
Put
but
that wine down.
put the glass down, but also just like in the scenes when he's also at home and he's talking about like my war isn't over yet
Yeah.
because he has all this guilt from
Abandoning his post.
from abandoning his post and not doing what he was supposed to do, and I'm just like that is one of the
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. That's the best performance I've seen this year,
Yeah.
and
That's
the
your
fact
favorite.
that it isn't nominated because it's a Godzilla movie, like
It's
I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say it
it's
pisses me off
international
because
and there's preferences.
I don't care about
within
awards
The mostly
that much.
American voter base. Yeah. No, absolutely. No,
'Cause-
there's a hundred
yeah.
reasons.
I'm
why.
just like, if we were to give awards to art, which we do, that should be awarded, man. Because
Yeah.
like that was like, oh man, I've never seen someone put through so much pain
yeah.
in a movie.
Wow.
I got something.
Okay.
Yeah?
Let's hear it.
Kind of a movie that I feel like overall was ignored because of how bad it did at the box office. Beau is Afraid.
Oh,
Joaquin.
Joaquin.
Shout
I
out
had that-
Joaquin.
he was better in that than Napoleon.
Yeah.
I had
Wow.
that for a snub for production design.
Production design.
I think the production design was
makeup and
fantastic.
hairstyling.
Editing.
Editing.
That movie's crazy.
Yeah.
And I know it didn't do well. It's a horror comedy, kind of like
Very
weird genre.
divisive.
All kinds of
Yeah, it's like kind of a mess, but like the way he can like is able to depict anxiety,
Oh my God.
fear.
just like it just comes to life.
Oh.
It's
Holy
so
shit.
it's
it's
like
so-
one of those movies where I'm sitting there in the theater and it's like uncut gems,
And it's
I'm
like funny and haunting at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
You know?
Also shout out Nicolas Cage in Dream Scenario.
that-
one of his best performances, and he got the Golden Globe nom. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe like a little push can happen for him. It didn't really happen. That movie was a little
And-
bit out there, but
Zac Efron.
I was about to say.
okay,
Come on.
I'm
Iron
gonna
Claw.
take 1 second. Iron Claw is my favorite movie of last
It's
year.
one of my favorite movies. It's
That
my
is
third.
the
It's my
movie
third.
that devastated me the most.
Same.
It impacted me the most. In my perfect little world, if I controlled everything, that would be like an 11 nomination movie. Obviously, that's never going to happen, but there could have been a push for Zac Efron. I think A24 kind of dropped the ball. on
well,
that
they
one.
already had 2 horses, so they're not gonna.
But like, oh man,
You
just-
never used to
And
be a
Iron Claw
brother.
got
How did you?
nothing.
connect?
Iron Claw got completely ignored.
You're a single child.
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I want to throw in just 2 more actors real quick.
Yeah, let's hear
I
it.
want to throw in Andrew Scott for All of Us.
yeah,
Strangers.
all the strangers got
No,
like
he should have been in
goose
there.
egg
He
too.
didn't get it.
He
didn't
was
get any.
incredible.
He was really good in that. And another movie. This might be a bit of a hot take, maybe. I don't know. Keanu Reeves for John Wick.
Wow.
I feel like just in terms of physical acting,
It would have. That would have been
unless they-
interesting.
Just
'Cause-
John Wick 4 in general,
yeah, and like
production design, cinematography. I think
I've been saying this for years.
Don't
The
touch
Academy needs to add a stunt /
yes,
choreography.
100%.
category.
That is so
Cheers
overdue.
to
There's
that.
so many movies. There are so many movies that are so underrepresented because of that category doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I think like so many movies would benefit from being able to have that. Like John Wick would be there. Mission Impossible would be in there. Guardians would be there. Any musicals that come out.
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
definitely an excuse to put more popular films in there. No, not to like, not to try and like
No, yeah, because
throw
like,
them
it
under the
tends
bus.
because
you
choreography
know?
and stunts tend to lean towards popular film.
Well, I would have probably liked to see like a John Wick for cinematography.
that would.
I know we
Oh,
passed that
man.
already,
It
but
would've
But
been
you know,
cool.
yeah, that would.
Yeah.
But yeah, just want to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Should we talk about best supporting actresses?
Best
best.
Or
supporting,
best lead actresses. Sorry.
best
well,
lead
let's just quickly do supporting actress. I feel like we didn't give it enough love.
Uh,
Even though Divine Joy, Locke.
Locke,
She's a lock.
and deservedly so
Deserved,
because she
yes.
is
She-
absolutely incredible. And the holdovers, I'm so excited just to see her up on that stage
Yes.
taking that trophy. It's
It's-
going to be one
it's
of the
obvious.
highlights of the night.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who do we got on this list? We got Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt, I think she's a great nomination.
she's number 2.
yeah, she's number 2 for me.
The Color Purple, the only nomination it got,
Yeah.
Danielle Brooks. And that was one of those movies that throughout the year we knew it was coming out and we're thinking this is an Oscar just.
Right.
They're going for the gold. It walks away with one lone nomination. Did any of you guys see Color
No.
Purple?
I
No.
None of
We're
us have
part of
seen
the
it.
problem.
Just because the
And
thing
I
is, I
wanted to.
love the original so much.
I do too.
I have like just because of that the original's so good, I haven't had like a need to go see the.
Well, you also don't like musicals.
Well, I mean, that's not the reason. I know it's a musical, but the reason why I'm not seeing it is just because like I love the original so much.
Well,
yeah, I honestly think it's one of Spielberg's most underrated. I don't know if
No,
he
yeah.
was the guy to
That and
to
War of the
dir-
Worlds, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know if he was the right guy to direct that story, but
True.
but like for what it was, I think it's a pretty incredible film from that time period.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job with it. But I was excited for the retelling. I still honestly, my goal this year is to see every single film that has a nomination.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna end up watching it, and
You're
I
a
am
death
excited.
racer.
I still
It's 'cause
have
it's
high
crazy.
hopes for it.
Yeah.
But I'm just so surprised that that's the one nomination it walked away with.
yeah.
That's shocking.
Can I say some snubs for this category?
Supporting.
For supporting.
Okay.
Cara Jade Myers for Killers of the Flower Moon. She plays Anna.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
good in
she
that
was
movie.
incredible.
Actually, that is a good one.
Oh my god, she was fucking incredible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I totally didn't even think about
Rachel
that. but
McAdams,
absolutely.
man.
Rachel McAdams.
Don't.
I have 3. Rachel McAdams
stop
is one of them.
bringing
From
up my
Are You There, God?
beloved
It's Me,
Margaret.
And
Stop
then my
it.
last one
I'm
is Claire Foy
heartbroken.
for All This.
Claire Foy, yeah.
She
killed it.
I've never really liked Claire Foy in a role yet. Besides All of Us Strangers, I
Yeah.
thought she was so good in that movie.
I didn't even know she
Very
was in
real.
it.
Yeah.
Very like.
Wow.
Yeah, she was like a very
got a
realistic
BAFTA nom.
depiction of
Very-
like a passive like distant mother
Yeah.
figure
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
It's
And
a
played
very
well.
complex role because you're like, there's so much love there, but,
But
there's
there's a
also like
distance.
there's such a distance.
Yeah.
It's very complex.
Almost like like a empathetic apathy.
I think she and Andrew Scott were like the best parts of the movie.
That scene where he comes spoiler, that scene where he comes out to her at over tea.
Oh yeah, the
my
tea and
God.
toast.
It's just like
But also when they're decorating the Christmas
yeah,
tree.
it's gorgeous.
Oh
yeah.
my god, you're always on my
In this
mind.
category, and going back to the whole Barbie debacle, shout out America Ferrera,
Ferrera.
picking up that nom. And like the
People
scene,
are mad about it. I'm not mad about
I'm
it.
Why
fine
would you?
with it.
The,
Yeah,
the
I don't-
most memorable.
He
Very-
he
very
doesn't
Are you
give a
mad
shit
about
about.
that? The most
I'm
memorable
mad. I'm
happy
scene
she's
in the
there.
movie. The scene that everybody's been quoting in argument of why Barbie didn't get those 2 nominations. That is recited by America Ferrera. She made that scene.
People are saying it's so Tumblr like 2010s like no,
but it's well performed. And it's true.
it's one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
the most memorable.
Like get off your high horse, man.
yeah,
like,
but
that-
shout out America Ferrera.
Sometimes
seriously.
the obvious just needs to be said.
Yeah.
and she's said it eloquently in that monologue.
did.
and she delivered it perfectly.
incredibly well
Yeah.
performed. I think that's a really well deserving nom.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to see her in there.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
all-
I bet you're happy about Jodie Foster for 9.
No,
I bet
oh
that
my
was what
God.
you were pulling for.
No, you were so mad during that.
I just think
that
this
video.
this category this year is like top heavy.
Jodie Foster in Naiad is just like
America Ferrera is like
I like
doesn't-
Jodie
other
Foster.
than that
I haven't
monologue,
seen
she
the
Jodie
doesn't
movie
do
Foster's
yet.
great.
You know,
Like I've loved like in Silence of the Lambs, she's fantastic in that movie. Even though
a
I
great
don't
film.
love Contact that much, I think she's incredible in that
I love
film.
Contact.
she's awesome.
In Naiad, she's just like, oh yeah, it's me, Jodie Foster. You know?
Really?
Hey, let's go swim.
We
You
need
know?
to go
Hey,
swimming.
let me go drink this Diet Coke. And I'm like,
across the
okay, like
ocean.
I didn't feel like I was like, no, that's not like a. I can't name you. Like, I mean,
it's all-
there's like one scene, and I know they're gonna use that scene for like
As their Oscar clip.
for both Annette Bening and Jodie Foster. They're gonna use this one scene where they're arguing in a kitchen. That's gonna be the scene they use for both of their reels, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like the one scene, and
Yeah.
the rest, Jodie Foster's like, yeah, okay, let's let's
Yeah.
get on the boat.
Yeah,
you know,
it's-
hey, let me drink
It's
my
funny
Diet
when you're
Coke,
watching
you
a
know?
movie and you can feel like, oh, this is the
Oscar clip.
Yes.
Oscar
And
monologue.
a lot of times it's designed that way.
Oh, yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
writer
Oh, yeah.
in mind is thinking like, yeah, this is it.
Oscar.
This is fucking
Oh,
it.
this cooks. Yeah.
Yeah, this cooks.
That's
We're cooking.
That's America Ferrera for me. She's like good in the movie, but like when I think of her role in the movie, I'm like, I don't know what else like I would say is good. Like it's fine.
Like
It's just like she's in the movie.
No, yeah, and I in a part of me also like kind of feels similarly in the sense that what's the name of the actress who played her daughter in the movie?
Ariana Greenblatt. I think.
yeah.
Ariana
I-
Greenblatt.
like-
She
Yeah.
comes into my work
Like,
occasionally.
oh
Really?
really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool.
But like for me, like without that
That's all I have to say about that.
without that monologue, like I put those two actors equal in quality of acting of performance.
Yeah.
There's just something about like, I don't know, the
It's fine.
way she
She
like
did a good job,
communicates
yeah.
the
Don't get me
middle-aged woman existential crisis in that film.
Oh yeah,
It's
no.
okay.
I think
You know,
she's honestly the heart of the movie.
Yeah,
She is.
absolutely. I think
She's who we connect to.
I'm so glad she's in. That.
I'm happy.
Evelyn and I had a conversation in the car about this. Without her,
Dig it.
the Margot Robbie Barbie wouldn't exist. Because
Yeah.
she created
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Barbie,
Exactly.
and that
She
is the
did.
embodiment
And-
of her feelings.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I could get behind
The
the
whole
nomination.
movie wouldn't exist without the way America Ferrera's character feels about her life.
Isn't that shocking though? If you would have told yourself like a year ago, Barbie is nominated for Oscars and the America Ferrera for Best Supporting Actress,
I'd be like,
Wild.
what are you talking about?
I don't
Yeah,
care.
I'd be like,
I'd be
who
like,
is-
huh? Okay.
Like, what character is that? Because we
You-
didn't know.
like,
we didn't
wait,
know
like
anything
Barbie?
about
Is it-
Barbie.
Is it
going to
be like Battleship? You know, is it like Hungry Hungry Hippos?
I love that.
You know,
Yeah, I want to be in that movie.
All right, let's look over what we got here
Actress.
for. Yeah, we need to talk about this actress race, and I think the two people we need to talk about.
yes.
Lily
This is a
Gladstone,
two-horse
Emma
race.
Stone. This is a tight competitive race, and for the record, Killers of the Flower Moon, one of my favorite films of the year, my favorite performance of the year, definitely goes to Lily Gladstone. She absolutely captivated me in a way that I haven't seen an actor do like almost ever. And I think she 100% deserves it. It would be a historic win. I think it's a more important win.
Yeah.
I love Emma Stone. I think she's great in Poor Things. She's won before. Does she really need to win it again? Like, I don't know. In terms of like,
really good, though.
she's really good.
She's really
I get
good,
it. I
but,
get
like,
it.
What Lily Gladstone does in Killers of the Flower Moon is like, we were talking about like, Jack Rule's theory of like the most.
Yeah, and in that case, it would be Emma Stone.
It would
You
be
place
Emma
your
Stone,
bet
but
on.
like, what Lily Gladstone does in that film, like she communicates so much
with little
with
words,
so
just
little.
looking. You see
Just
it all in her eyes. You see
looking
it all
and
in her
just like
eyes.
it's such a physical performance.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Chris,
know?
what were you gonna say?
I think Brandon and I might be on the same page about something because
What's
neither
that?
You guys
Lily
are
or Emma are my top two.
Yeah.
Are
Is
my
Is it
one.
Greta Lee?
No,
No.
she's not even. No, Sandra
Sandra
Hüller.
Hüller.
Sandra Hüller?
She's the
We
best
do.
performance
Oh
of
my-
the year.
She's great,
I
but
love
I'm like she's nowhere near.
Sandra.
She is
No,
the best
she's the best
performance of
I'm-
the
Best
year.
performance of the year.
Here's the
Come
thing.
on.
I'm
But
not.
any category.
I'm not gonna disagree. I'm not gonna disagree
She should be there.
Anatomy and Killers are like my number 2 and number 3 of the year. Like I fucking love both of these movies. I don't want to what
What's your number one?
Iron Claw.
Iron
Iron
Claw.
Claw, you already talked about
Oh,
this.
yeah.
that nobody cares
forgettable.
about. So thank you everyone.
The
for not
mother,
going to
all
see
the way.
it.
By the way, in Iron Claw is excellent.
Oh yes. Oh my god. I said, if it was up to me, it would be an
Maura
11 nomination
I don't
movie.
know.
Anyway, but like Sandra Hüller, like, and there was a chance she would get 2 nominations.
Because Zone of Interest.
'Cause Zone
That
of
was a fun
Interest.
surprise to see her in that.
And like she got a Best Supporting in
What if she
BAFTAs.
shocks? What if she shocks? Yeah, she did.
Here's the thing:
I
if
wouldn't
she
be
wins,
surprised. I
wouldn't be too surprised.
can I
if
say
Hüller
something? Can I
wins.
say something?
No.
And
No.
I don't want to.
All right, moving on.
if Sandra Hüller win, I would rather see Sandra Hüller. If she's going to win, I'd rather see her win than Emma Stone.
I'm with you on that.
You know, I would agree with that a little bit, just because it's like it's new.
It's something different.
It's someone different.
But like, it's just okay.
Gladstone's my 3.
That was my 2.
I'm gonna talk about
my
some
three as well.
Oscar history real quick. In 1972-73, when Marlon Brando won for The Godfather,
Infamous.
Oh, that's
he
great.
brought
That-
on
yeah.
a Native American activist. God, I want
You
I'm
don't
gonna
wanna mess
put
it up.
I'm gonna put her name on the screen.
right there.
But
See?
she went up and she accepted the award on his behalf. And the story goes that apparently backstage, John Wayne almost wanted to storm on stage and attack her.
Yeah,
He took it that personally.
John Wayne.
It's like not even about you, bro.
Dude,
You got an airport named after you. Get the fuck
Fuck
out of here.
off. I wanted to. Fuck you, John Wayne Airport, for canceling my flight because your power went out. Okay,
yeah.
go to hell.
All right.
And fuck you, John Wayne.
All right. Thank you, Ethan. Anyway, I'm just thinking 50 years later,
50.
we have the first Native American actress in terms of like someone actually from a reservation, I believe. There's other actors who have been nominated and even one who have Native American ancestry, but she's the first from like a reservation.
and indigenous ancestry
Yes.
who have been nominated.
Yeah. And it's just her winning, like, what a triumph that would be.
Yes.
Like,
That would be very
it would be
meaningful.
triumphant.
Absolutely.
And
She's
I just
great.
want to see that
Yeah.
moment. And like the fact that she's like acting against Leo and Robert De Niro, these guys who are
gotta-
world class
she smoked Leo.
actors.
Legends.
And I did not give a shit about them. My eyes were glued to her the entire time.
You see how none of us have mentioned like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio was
Yeah.
Oh, who
He was
cares?
good.
Yeah, he's
no,
fine.
he's fine.
He's a
that's
country
good.
Lily
bumpkin in
Gladstone
that movie.
carries that film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carries
She's
it.
the
She does.
reason that movie works.
Yes.
Yes.
She is, and because of that, when it comes to the Oscars, I really want to see her win. I want to see her come.
And that's
coming
what
away.
makes this fucking Margot Robbie shit all the more frustrating.
Yeah.
Because like, why are we
Hello.
not like
celebrating
this?
this historic
Gladstone.
nomination and
That-
potential win.
That
And
LA
instead that-
Times article.
Oh my
oh
god.
my god! Where
So
they
totally.
I gotta say, I'll see people like post shit on Instagram, and I'm like, you lost some like respect points from me.
really
yeah. No,
oh
I-
I'm
my
not gonna
God.
call out anyone, but there's some people who post stuff on
I've
Barbie.
seen some people
I'm
say that
oh,
like,
God, okay.
oh, so Ken gets a nomination, but not Barbie, and I'm like, what? It's two different categories.
It's two
And
different
also,
categories.
But
Margot's
also,
and
like,
Greta are still up
just
for Oscars.
Take a second to look who is nominated. I'll give you Annette Bening for Naiad. Okay, you can complain.
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, you-
But
yeah.
the rest of these amazing actresses, they were better than Margot Robbie, especially Lily Gladstone.
my God.
Oh my god. And
Yeah.
she better win.
And Margot
But
is
I won't
fine.
be mad if Emma Stone wins.
Margot is
Or-
fine. She's the biggest star in the world. She is fine. She doesn't need this
No.
Oscar nomination. Another opportunity will come.
Yeah, she'll get her flowers one.
But
And I'm also like, where were you guys for Babylon? When she
Oh,
got nominated
true,
for Babylon.
yeah.
I still think
True.
that's her greatest performance.
I agree.
And it would be hard to top.
I think we need to
it'll
talk
be hard
about
to top.
what do we need to talk about?
Carrie Mulligan and Maestro.
Oh,
I
she's
haven't
good.
seen it yet.
Okay.
She's good.
She is my favorite part of Maestro.
Well,
so
Mulligan's
I'm
a
not-
great actress.
I'm okay that she's there.
Yeah, me
I thought
too.
she was-
She's very good.
Yeah, she's good.
the best part of that movie.
She
It's
rounds
crazy.
out the category very nicely.
Yeah.
No, I don't complain. But yeah, her nomination makes sense.
Anyway,
Yeah.
good.
And
good.
just like
Yeah.
she was in Drive as well, which is a cool movie.
Yeah. It's such a
You're
cool
in
movie.
that.
I am in
That's
that.
that's the movie about you.
It's about me.
Look,
right,
that's him.
last
Okay,
picture.
let's go over the best picture
do it.
nominees.
This is like the most straight.
Can I
Best
say
Picture.
before this is the greatest Best Picture lineup I think
This
I've
Best Picture
ever
lineup,
seen in my
excellent.
recent memory of like watching.
There's
the Oscars.
no like true villain of the
No.
category.
No.
Even Maestro
People
is like,
are pinning Maestro as a villain, but I'm like,
Maestro still has a lot of merit.
It's good.
It's
It's
still,
still
a good
movie.
movie. It is a
Yeah.
good movie. There isn't like I don't know that one that you just roll your
like
eyes
American
at.
Sniper or
Oh,
or
God.
what about last year?
It was kind of
Quiet,
All
quiet.
Quiet.
kind
We're
of.
being
I
real.
I mean, I liked it.
It
But
was
liked
good,
it,
but,
yeah.
but
We're
still,
being
it was
real.
just like, come on.
What are you
or,
doing
you know,
with this
Green
movie? Yeah.
Book.
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. There was
Bohemian
Crash.
Rhapsody.
but let's
Crash.
Fuck
let's
Crash.
let's read off this list. So we have
Yes.
American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Yeah, you're
Great
right.
movies.
What a fucking lineup.
Good lineup. Very.
That's
good.
a great lineup.
Well balanced,
Here's the
unique,
question:
weird.
Would anybody is there one that you would just like swap out? I'm assuming for Maestro because I think
Either
that's
Maestro
everyone's
or
lowest rated. even
well,
though you haven't seen
Zone of Interest is actually my.
that is
I
that's
mean,
right. That
mine-
is your lowest rated.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Maestro, so I can't judge yet. But if I were to take out Maestro, I'd put in Iron Claw
I would definitely have Iron Claw. I'd have Iron Claw winning in my
for the
perfect
boys.
The boys.
But we kind of brought up this question last week, and I think we should dive into this.
Yeah.
We were supposed to see Dune 2 in this lineup.
Yep.
If Dune 2 was here, what do you think gets kicked out?
I don't
you
even know if
had to
Dune would
evaluate.
get in.
You don't think Dune 2 would get in?
I don't think
The
it would
first
have.
one got
I don't
in.
think it would have gotten Best
Yeah,
Picture.
because they usually don't do like sequels.
Denis might have gotten directing
Oh,
I think it would
out
have
of
been
Doc
technical.
Martin.
okay. Dune was done by Warner Brothers, right?
Yes, it's Warner Brothers.
I think they would have pushed it harder than Barbie.
No.
No
way.
I don't think
'Cause
Dune
Barbie
would have
would've
made
made
as
s-
much
I-
money.
Dune would have made a lot of money, but Barbie would have made so much more money.
Yeah,
And
but
I think
the thing is like
it's a
Dune-
cultural, like it is a cultural.
It was a
landmark of 2020.
cultural
That is,
phenomenon.
But then-
regardless of what wins Best Picture in 2023, Barbie is the movie of 2023. When it comes to the populace, when it
guess
comes
so.
to
It's the
movie
Top
going
Gun
culture,
That's
Maverick
why
of the
people are
year.
angry.
yeah, it's like Top Gun Maverick for last year.
It
That
is.
was the movie of
I
2022.
mean, if I saw 10 movies this year or less, then yeah, I'd do it. Then I'd pick Barbie.
I think it's Oppenheimer, and then everybody else is kind of happy to be there.
yeah,
That's what this year's looking like.
I won't be mad if Oppenheimer wins.
And it's a hard movie to deny. I don't see anyone getting super upset about Oppenheimer. But
Unless
if you had to pick another movie in this lineup, what would it be?
Holdovers.
Really?
And I feel like it's a 2-horse race between, like, if there was competition,
like
I'm
a
sure-
dark horse?
I feel like it is the Holdovers.
it is.
And
people love it.
If it wins, I will be over the moon because
Yeah.
that was my third favorite movie.
I love The Holdover. I've seen it 6 times. I've watched it for
It's
the 6th time
it's
the other
a
night.
classic.
It is. I'm
really
going to
good.
be watching it. That and Margaret. This
I'm going to be
year. I
watching
got
that
2 new
movie
comfort movies
more
this
than
year.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people are on the same page. People
Yeah.
are going to be throwing it on every Christmas. Like
Yeah.
it's just and also we didn't really dive too much into this, but Paul Giamatti
Oh my
could
God.
come up. He could come up as the best.
If he
best
wins,
actor winner.
I'll be over the moon.
That'd be
I
awesome.
would
Iron
love
Claw's
to see-
Killian
As much as I
Murphy
love
on
Killian.
stage.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
He'll Iron Claw. Hungry. He'll do that right.
No,
before-
dude. No, if anyone's iron clawing someone else, it's probably Bradley Cooper. Because my God, that guy in Maestro, he was on his hands and knees begging for an Oscar. He
His
was
ass was up for
begging.
it, bro.
His ass
He
was up.
He wanted that award to go right in there.
He was ready for it, and like it's not gonna happen.
What are you looking at like that for?
Oh,
Oh,
I mean, do you disagree? Have you seen Maestro?
yeah, I've seen it.
Oh,
Wait, so Joey, if Oppenheimer doesn't win, what would be your pick?
I think
Holdovers for you.
Killers are
Killers are
I feel
holdovers.
like I don't know what it is, but I feel like Killers just isn't getting the love that I personally feel for it. I think it's some of Scorsese's most accomplished work. I think Lily Gladstone gives the performance of the year, and I think it's such an important story because Native American stories, and especially the atrocities that happen to them, like are so undertold. And I don't know. That movie meant a lot to me, but just people aren't digging it. They respect it, but they're just not digging it.
Yeah.
I think in terms of like the one that would make everybody happy, I would love to see Holdovers.
I think Brandon and I's are obvious because Brandon, I won't speak for you, but
Oh,
Anatomy, I'm guessing.
It's kind of a split between Anatomy of a Fall and Poor Things because both meet
Excellent.
equally.
Both are great.
But you won't be mad if Oppenheimer.
I won't be mad if Oppenheimer,
'Cause that's
Poor
one of your
Things,
favorites wins.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Is there
or The
one that you
Holdovers.
will be mad?
No.
hypothetically.
I mean, my
Even Zone of Interest?
no, I think
if that one, you would
even
be
my
like, okay.
even Maestro or
He did it! Yay!
even Maestro or Zone of Interest, I would be frustrated that a better movie didn't win, but if they won, good on them.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a quality lineup. like
But
you said.
we need to talk about past lives. We need to talk about
Hello.
it. We have not talked about it, and I know
It's in my top 4.
it is Chris's favorite film of the year. I'm not mistaken, right?
It's a
I'm not
brilliant
mistaken,
Brilliant
and
movie.
let's just praise it real quick
Oh,
because it
man.
deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, like I love Past Lives. I think, if it were up to me, so like I literally wrote in my notes, the happiest thing for me is just anything Past Lives got, because I
That's
adore
true.
that movie.
Yeah.
2 nominations.
If I got to throw something in, I'd throw Celine Song and Greta Lee in there.
Me
but
too.
For
That's
sure.
just
It's packed.
Yeah, it's a tough year, and I get that.
I think Greta Lee should have been in there.
but
More than Annette Bening. Oh my god.
but yeah, so I love Past Lives. It's such like Ethan and I were actually talking about this earlier today. We both adore that movie, but funnily enough, for very different reasons.
Yeah.
I really loved it because for me, yes, obviously the romance is a huge part of that movie and all of that, the emotional intricacies of that. But for me, the thing that really struck me about that movie is its story about immigration and like the emotional nuances of leaving your home and going somewhere new and trying to like find your way between those worlds.
Yeah.
And I really connected to that. But for you,
For me, it's all about like
the longing.
just like, I don't know, just like the cosmic romance of it all, and the longing, and just like, I mean, that movie just came out at a very important time in my life when I was like going through similar stuff that the characters are going through, you know, and it hit all the right chords for me, you know. So when I view that movie, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a movie that just like
Spoke to you.
that specifically like it validated everything that I was feeling when I watched it, and probably when I'm still watch it to this day. You know,
I think it's like one of the most mature depictions of romance in the relationship between Greta Lee and her actual husband in
Yeah.
the film, and their conversations about like what mad props to like what's the husband's name in that
John
movie?
Magaro.
Yeah, that guy who just like that is such a like sweet character, and like
So simple.
the,
Yeah.
the
You can see the little
understanding
things.
of like how she needs this. She needs to
Yeah.
find closure with this connection.
Yeah.
And that's something that like no matter what their love is, that's something he can't provide for her, and that's like something I've never seen before, and
Yeah.
I thought that was beautifully done.
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Also, I just want to shout out Celine Song for a really smart directing choice. She didn't have the actors who played the Korean love interest and her husband. They did not meet until they filmed. So they called action. The walk through the door. They met.
Wow.
So that interaction, all of that awkwardness is dead
Whoa.
real.
Wow.
That's she's my 5 for director.
I
know we're done with
And
that.
Yeah.
you know what's it's kind of sad because we're talking about we want to see more representation of women in the field. There very well could have been a possibility where this is the first year where we see more female director nominees than male director. You could have had Greta
next year.
The two wait no Greta, Celine. I was thinking of
Justine.
the other Greta. Greta, Justine, and Celine Song in all three of them. All three of them.
And I would have been like, yes, of course.
yeah,
Fine.
and
Yeah,
that would have
obviously.
been awesome. It's a bummer it didn't happen, and no disrespect to the other nominees, but
But-
obviously, yeah, Celine Song, and I'm not even like as in love with Past Lives as you guys are, but I respect it so much, and I do think it's one of the best directed films of the year. And it's a bummer that it kind of just flew under the radar.
I just think it just because it came out in May.
It
And it's
came
small-
out
it's such
early.
a small movie.
It's
Small
Movie,
small.
It came out in May. That movie should have come out in November.
Yeah, but it's a shame. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. Any final thoughts that we want to throw in? I think,
Before we end the show,
yeah.
I want to bring some people on. I want to bring some people onto the show. I feel like we didn't talk about sound. And I know
doesn't want
our producer and engineer Tori, she's holding it down, but I think she can step away for a second.
Yeah.
Just to,
We've got like 4 minutes left. But
hold on, let me film her so we can get
You got this.
so we can get her reaction.
Check,
Okay,
check.
Tori. Oh wait, that's a photo. Sorry.
You have a nice
right.
photo of Tori now.
All right, Tori. Give me your thoughts? Because
First off, fuck sound, am I right?
Yeah.
who needs it? Who needs it?
Let me look. Let me look at my list.
She's mad. Big mad.
What's your pick?
I don't have strong feelings about any of these movies.
Hmm.
It's Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Zone of Interest. If I had to give it to anything, I'd probably do Oppenheimer or Zone.
Yeah.
But even just talk about any category you want. 'Cause
All right.
you're part of the team, Tori. What do you think of that? What do you think of these?
Oh God, I full honesty just zoned out for the past 20 minutes.
But you gotta have. What is your?
Tori
what
got
is your
tested for
hottest
glaucoma this morning,
I
so
did.
she's kind of had a busy
a
day.
little hazy.
Yeah.
take? Let it be known, everybody.
Tori does not have glaucoma. Let's get a round of applause.
Yeah.
She does not have
I'm gonna do a
glaucoma.
one-
She's a sound person, but she can see.
She can see.
Oh God, I'm so caught off guard. I don't know.
What's your best picture? Of the
Best
year?
picture? It's if I were putting money on it, it's going to Oppenheimer. What I want, I'm pretty into Poor Things.
Yeah.
I really did like Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And Killers. Those are kind of my top 3 going
Okay.
on.
I'll take it.
It's a good selection.
All right.
Poor Things, probably I'd say the most feminist film to come out this year.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
I agree with you on that.
It is. It really is.
So yeah, I also the Barbie discourse kind of bugs me. There's your woman input on that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think
We're not alone.
Let's get another woman in here. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Let's get Brandon's girlfriend.
Evelyn's coming in.
Good.
This is my
Evelyn.
favorite part.
She's our cam op of the show.
Yeah.
She is, yeah.
She's more than just Brandon's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
My drunk ass.
All right.
Okay, if I had to pick a best, I'm just gonna do best picture.
Yeah.
I would do Past Lives or Poor Things.
Yeah.
Good taste.
That's it.
Yeah.
Good taste.
Good taste.
But I'm pretty sure Oppenheimer's gonna win, but I don't really like it.
Ooh,
Oh,
hot
hey.
take.
Hot
It's
take.
just like
Hot
Hot
it's a
take,
good,
but
Everyone's got a
it's a
hot
good
take.
We love
movie,
them.
but it's like I don't know.
Here's the thing. I get it. It's a 4-star movie for me. It's a movie I respect, but like I don't love, and
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna revisit it much outside of this.
Oh,
year.
I'm gonna
Me
see it next
neither.
week in 70 mil.
I want to
IMAX.
see it one more
see it on
time
Friday.
in 70 mil,
Right
but
here on this couch.
I think it's a fun theatrical experience, but it's not a movie that particularly means a lot to me personally.
Okay.
I would agree.
And
All
then
right,
for
now
the
we're
last
back.
word of the show, the
last
last
girl.
word of the show,
Justin.
we need the man who started it all.
We
The
shouldn't have let
man
him
who
drink.
started it all.
Oh, hello.
This
dragging
is
it
wait,
out.
just for the
Justin
record,
Cole Bolalayo is making his stacked debut, baby.
This is just for the record. This is actually our executive producer here. He's the one calling the shots behind the scenes. So
All right, Justin.
What's the question?
What?
What's your favorite movie?
What
My
is
favorite
the
movie this
question?
year? I'm gonna choose Oppenheimer. I had a really
Hey.
good time going to the theater for that. We saw it in what? Was it 70 millimeter?
yeah, the IMAX 70 mil at the AMC.
Hell yeah,
Universal.
yeah. That was a very fun experience, and then getting to see just all of that on the biggest of screens was very fun.
You like Spider-Verse this year?
I did like Spider-Verse. I also loved the soundtrack. It's unfortunately it wasn't nominated for
Yeah.
soundtrack, so
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of a bummer, but I enjoyed that as well. Yeah, I think if I have a vote on Best Picture, I think I want Oppenheimer, honestly.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
All right,
boys.
he's going for it.
We
All right.
never talked about animated film. But
We-
Didn't we?
that's,
We talked
no.
about Heron and all.
I mean, we did.
Oh,
But
we did talk
for
about
other
the categories
categories.
abroad.
But that's fine. You already know. that.
I just
You
have
know-
one, I have
you know
one
how
thing
we
to
feel.
say about animated.
Yes.
TMNT Snubbed.
Yeah.
Yes, TMNT
Snub.
got snubbed.
I would replace that with Elemental.
yes, Elemental.
Ah, no, I love
no,
Elemental.
no, 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 no. No, 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 no.
No, no,
No, no, no, no.
I like Elemental.
I do
I
too.
like Elemental.
And everyone, go see Nimona. Watch Nimona on Netflix.
That's
At your
on my
house.
next up.
Yeah,
I want to
please-
watch that.
please
and
watch
Robot
that,
Dreams.
and where the hell do I watch that movie?
I don't
I'm
know.
pissed.
I don't know where it
am-
came from.
I am so pissed because that movie looks amazing,
It's coming out.
but you can't watch it
It's
anywhere.
coming in a month or something.
A month?
Yeah.
Really? So it's
That
nowhere
is
for a
so
month?
Stupid,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Oh my
why are they
God.
nominating films that you can't watch until like a week before the Oscars?
Ask the Annies.
All right, Annie's. I got a question for you. No, I'm not gonna.
No, you're not going to
Let's end the show, shall
All
we?
right. So everyone, this was a really fun discussion.
This is great.
Long,
This
fun
won't be the
discussion.
end. We will be tracking the awards race as
Yes.
it progresses because there's still a lot of time. There's still almost a little less than 2 months left, so a lot can happen between now and Oscar evening.
I'm sure we'll have more thoughts next week.
We will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, which is hopefully going to be Bed Bath & Beyond.
Bed Bath & Beyond, please sponsor our show.
The chairs are
bought
great.
we bought 3 of these amazing chairs from you.
Not four.
And
We already had one.
well, we already had one.
We had one, but you completed the set, and we really just want. you to be
I
a
feel
part
like
of
I've
this.
also bought a lot of Yankee candles from them.
Yeah, you did.
I
We-
mean, in the past,
we
probably.
really want we want to work our way towards getting that remote in the Beyond section.
The remote that can do anything.
Yeah.
This is our goal, guys. By the time the show ends, we will have the remote that can do anything.
That can do anything.
I mean, because that's
Is that the
that's
criteria
the
for season
Beyond,
3 now?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So stay tuned for that.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.